Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745. And we're going to continue playing Hearts of Iron 3's Black Ice 10.51 with Third Reich Events. And we're testing and seeing how this is playing together. Finding a few small problems, but so far so good. They just got another, okay, factory, industry. I really think for a while their paradox lost its way. I think it's getting back on track, but I'm not sure on that one. We'll see how it goes. Let's do that. And let's, this is given by event. Let me get a, there we go. Where did that go? Did that not show up? Okay, there it is. Why is it down there? I don't know. I'm gonna wait for an armored one. Oh yeah, maybe we'll wait for HQ to show up. If we can sell something to the US, sell some supplies. Yep, they have money and they need supplies, so. Oh, okay. Let's get a little bit of a positive flow in. Just some of these things I don't think are explained well enough. We give them money for rare materials. Yeah, we could use some rare materials coming in. Three-man turret. One of the other super advantages that Germany had in the early war. Eventually other nations caught up to it, but early war they were the ones with the three-man turret. So we got a few motor torpedo boats out to come in. Motor torpedo boats will help reduce practicals to get these done a little faster than destroyers. So yeah, that's good. Won't help a lot. Okay, we're getting into the battleships again. Let's start with an infantry division. Keep this being just a horse-drawn division. 7 brigades, I think, will be enough for some of these basic units. Okay, I keep forgetting to do that so many times. Let's try to do 2 in parallel, and we'll go 4 serially. There we go. Army build up proper. Get a bunch more. Yeah. Okay. I think we need a bit more production. Let's spread some of this out a bit. A bit more industry, I think, as well. There's always sort of the temptation to either concentrate your industry versus spread it out. Concentration has its benefits, but it also has its problems. If you're going to have AA around in the province, and if you have enough, and I don't know what there's sort of and it's in the code, and I could go look it up for it. I think, not sure. I think if it detects that it has enough AA in a particular province, it stops trying to bombard that province. I'm going to guess and say 3, but I don't know what the number is right offhand. But also, if you don't have enough, then it can really, in one province, in one airstrike, one mission, it can do a lot more damage. Where if you sort of spread it out, and notice I sort of spread a lot out here and a lot in sort of in central a bit more that I've been adding to make it further away from Britain. So there's good reason to keep it. Hello, fat man. How you doing? The German people demand a big navy. Well, I don't know that we're going to get a big navy, and yes, I have seen some of the videos, and it is looking good. I'm liking what I'm seeing with the new DLC. Once it gets out, I will be playing it. I'm not in any sort of early getting program for that. Okay, for some reason, for a while we were getting our income. I don't know. We would give them money for rare materials. No, I don't want to buy from Turkey. Let's see if we can buy some from the Soviets. They're low on money, so let's buy some rare materials from the Soviet. Get them some money, so that may have been what was stopping them from buying our supplies. I don't know. Armory car designs have improved. Very nice. Germans had some great armored car designs. Don't know if I really want to do much 38 text just yet. That don't help me yet. Manage any supply system combat with system. We'll see. We'll see. The game needs major error rework in actual HQ systems. But other than that, I'm excited. Yes. People are claiming, and it we may have evidence that Paradox may be starting to listen to its customers again. They have for a long time not been listening to the customers. Companies get this way. And it may be just the way all companies over time work. Paradox for a long time, and I've been had somewhat close association with them, being in the beta and other things over the years and talking to them. But they really seem to have had this idea. Look at all these people are playing our games. We're great. Seeing we're selling all these copies of games, and all these people are playing our games. And then we're going out here, people in the forums are going, we need this change. And they're going, yeah, but everybody's playing our games. And I'm sort of talking about the air thing, particularly here, that, the air, rework, rework. Like, well, we don't want teleporting aircraft that somehow magically jumps from Britain all the way over to Berlin. We want them to have to fly through that. They go, no, you don't need to do that. Everyone plays our games. Ugh. Well, I don't think they understand the difference between, well, people are playing your games, but people are dissatisfied. They're playing because there may be nothing else better at the time, so they're playing the game. But we don't like what's happening, so people aren't happy with it. And of course, the big thing you can see is Imperator Rome, how that crashed and burned. I mean, that was a freaking failure. And they designed a air system that I guess can't, fly across the channel, fly across the Low Countries, fly across Western Germany, and then get to Berlin, so that you could have air that's intercepting them here, air that's intercepting them here, air that's intercepting them here, and air intercepting over the target, and they take a trip, losses all the way through there and all the way back. And that you have to sort of play whack-a-mole in that, the AI sends all of its air over Berlin, this part of Germany. Well, let's send all of our air to there. And now it's over here, and we send it over here. So you got to play, as opposed to just, we have, air defense zones that they got to fly through. Or we can, like in this game, we can come here and give it an area of operation larger than one zone. Well, okay, if you use a limited zone, okay, but, they got to fly through it. The mere fact that they have maybe the best doesn't mean that people are satisfied. And people are upset with this, and they just don't want to listen to feedback. I mean, for the longest time, they have not wanted to listen to feedback. They just want to look at our stats. We're selling games. We're selling DLCs. Yay. And they have not been, until recently. Now, it's... Okay, guys, I'm a little salty. I'll admit that. Because I complained since before it was released that supply... I don't like the whole state mechanic. I like provinces. I don't like the state. And they do have, like Gibraltar, they do have one province states. So they could combine all of it back to province. But I complained that all of the supply was at the state level. Now I understand it's gone to the provincial level. And I complained that they should have railroads in it. I was one of, if not the, I was one of the main people saying we should have railroads. Well, I gave up contributing to the beta testing for a long time, meaning I hadn't played a beta in 6 months or more, and they were cleaning house, and I was... kicked out of the beta. And I wasn't upset because I hadn't played a beta or opened the beta game up or made a, hey, I found this bug, or hey, I think, because to a point I just gave up because I was saying we should get rid of the states, and we should have railroads, and Podcat was going, well, we have infrastructure, that equals railroads, it's the same thing, doesn't really matter, supply flows on the state level, so having railroads wouldn't really matter. Okay. And now that I'm gone, then they put it in. And I'm not there to give any feedback on it, for good or for bad. Whatever. So I am a little salty about that. That they finally doing what I wanted them to do since before the game was released. But now I'm not involved to test it or see it before it's launched out to everybody else. So I'm a little salty. I'll admit that. And and again, I'm not upset that they kicked me out because I was not actively participating in any beta thing, and they definitely kept me in longer than other people that got rid of it and were kicked out. And again, it's not, well, there wasn't, we don't like you, you're gone. You just, hey, if you haven't been contributing for, however long, we're put out an announcement, we're cleaning house. And I didn't even bother to respond to like, please keep me in it all. Okay, fine. I knew it was coming at that point, and fine. I'm not salty for because I just gave up caring. Quite honestly, I gave up caring about what they were doing, because just about everything they did get in the sort of one level of command was added back in, of HQs was added back in, but otherwise, they weren't doing anything that I was interested in. I just gave up caring about it, and I just really felt that whatever, and I'm not really giving any details because I'm not supposed to talk about anything I did in the beta, but everything I sort of was saying, you ought to do this, was just effing ignored. Oh yeah, but our stats, people are loving this. People are playing numbers of hours. It's really great. How many, because they see how many people load up through Steam. How many people are playing it per day, how many hours people are playing it, how many, of course, copies of whatever. And so I was ignored. And I just got less and less interested of even being participated into what was going on with it. So I just was like, bleh. And so I gave up on it and was wanting to play mods like Black Ice for Hoi 4 or some of the other ones, like Total War or whatever, trying out the other mods. But I gave up trying to play the core game. Just caring. So yeah, I'm not salty for being kicked out of the beta, actually, not at all. But I'm salty that, now that I get kicked out of the beta, and then they start doing the things that I've wanted them to do. That part I'm salty about. Okay, let me read some of the chats after my rant. AI for World War II games. The AI is hard. That's true. Some theaters actually need really careful planning, and even they should be able to program it. And yeah, well, they would do better, in my opinion, if they did some hard-coded AI stuff instead of trying to think that they can do a dynamic AI. Remember on launch, it was Benjamin Magnuson. Yeah, and he noticed that within the first couple of hours, luckily we have Kaiser Reich. Yeah, Kaiser Reich's a cool mod. By the way, airplanes are jumping from original airport to destination. They are not flying through the zones in Hoi 4. Yeah, I know that's what they do in Hoi 4. They jump around, and I don't like that. My understanding is that with their the way they built air, they can't do that. They can't have them fly through intermediate zones. It's just not the way they can do it. They would literally have to rebuild the air, like from the ground up, just about scrap everything. And and it wasn't just they could. Again, my understanding, I don't know the code, I don't know the details, but it's my understanding they can't change it to fly through intermediate zones. So now they could, of course, scrap it and build something entirely new. I mean, that could happen, but it's going to take a lot of effort. And if you looked, the Battle for the Bosphorus, and including some of the other DLCs coming out, they haven't been putting a lot of effort. This latest DLC looks like, again, all I've really watched are some of the little introductory, the 4 or 5 minute videos on like railway guns and some of the other stuff. I'm sort of forgetting, but I haven't really been following it. So, maybe they've removed some of the states. I don't know. Well, they could. Yeah, well, they could do the air if they want to, but I think they have to rebuild stuff. I think that massive scrap it and do another thing. And yes, it's a choice. They're choosing not to. For good or for bad, they're choosing not to. Okay, I'm seeing we're getting back into Scharnhorst production. So let's start with let's get rid of all of these. Could have left out. Let's start with an armored division. with let's go historical and do a motorized battalion, not a whole. This is more than a battalion, this is 4,000. Where this is 6,000, so we're going to go sort of historical in that. Medium artillery. Since this is armored, we're going to do armored cars. Do motorized engineers. So let's do a division HQ. And well, we have artillery. I don't know that we're going to do anti-tank. The air. I want to keep this sort of fast, so I'm not going to do heavy anti-air. The motorized engineers about the same speed. What are these currently looking like? Okay, two regiments. I don't think I'm going to go the 2 regiments. My car is just standard, sort of weak artillery. Any semi-motorized and motorized stuff that we have here. You know, I think let's see, how many ICs is this? 45. Yeah, that's big enough. We're gonna do one. That's a lot of ICs for that. Oh, we need to. That's what we need the trucks. Yep, we're gonna do trucks. There we go. 53. 53. That's expensive as hell. Okay, well, we're gonna start our. Oh no! Oh, it's 2 of them. Well, no, we're gonna go down to 1. Okay, I just wanted 1. I didn't realize it's getting 2. So it's 26. 26 sounds reasonable. 56. I was thinking that was 1 division. That was seeming way too much. Okay, we have another additional light aircraft factory. Bulgaria, yes, you can have a little bit of energy for even less money. Can we sell more to the United States yet? Yes, and they have money, and we'll see if we can sell them some supplies. Do that. Accepted, good. So yeah, as you can tell, I've been very disappointed in Hoi 4. I still think it's the future, and even though I'm back to modding Hoi 3 again, I really want to do mod for Hoi 4, but I just haven't had the the desire to. Would be the stormtrooper tactics. And these are these type of stormtroopers, not the SA ones. Now let's come over. But I'll definitely be playing the game once the new DLC is out. Unmodded it first. Give the mods time to catch up with the new changes. And I also want to see what they do. But unlike last time, I'm definitely having more recruiting going on here. We're doing massive conscription. 3-year draft. Propaganda press. France, we would give them money for rare materials. No. Any extra rare materials we're going to conquer and take from you later on. So stockpile them rares. Okay. Netherlands. Again, we're going to stockpile your rares. We're going to come and take them later on. Okay. From the Soviet Union. Okay, we're going to try to buy some rare materials from you guys. Yeah, I know that'll put us in a deficit, but we can afford it for a while. Trade some more with the US and get more money. Okay, Great War Analysis. Is that done by any chance? Probably not. Nope, one more left. Yes, you may have metal. Oh, how's our ship sitting out here? Okay, so we're sort of watching what's going on to the zoom level to see it. Like I say, this is what was going on. Germany was part of the neutrality patrols, I think is what they were called, trying to keep out foreign intervention in Spain, but it didn't really seem to work. Soviets sent in lots of equipment and bunches of advisors and Cheka and other sort of secret police types. Italy sends in basically 3 divisions worth, I think. Germany, lots of air power, a little bit of navy, and a little bit of ground. About 300 soldiers at any one time. And of course, both sides are dumping all kinds of munitions into Spain. Now, Germany, the guy, forget his name, I read about him a while ago. The guy who was the primary guy responsible for selling arms and munitions to Spain. Again, for those of you, I know some of you guys are really well informed, but I don't know everybody who's watching. An arm is something like a artillery piece or rifle. A munition is what comes out of them, bullets or artillery shells. But they were selling arms and munitions to the Franco forces, and this one guy, and he had 3 ships that were responsible for smuggling, and they were foreign flag ships that he bought, but they were responsible for bringing them in. And he was some sort of buddy of Goering, and that's sort of how he was doing this and raking off a percentage of the sales. And so he was loading up these 3 ships worth of, arms and munitions, and the primary one sending them for Germany, sending them to nationalist Spain. And this was going so well, he bought 3 more ships. And trust me, the German High Command knows all, Goering and what knows all about this. Buys 3 different ships, but sells only munitions to the Republican forces. So Germany was supplying both sides. They were supplying both sides to the war, in actual fact. And so he had 3 ships running for the nationalists and 3 ships running for the Republicans. But my understanding is for the Republicans, it was just munitions, where for and I may be wrong that it was just munitions, but for the nationalist, it was both arms and munitions. Oh, and what they were doing was this whole thing set up with Franco that basically rare materials could only be sold in Spain to a particular company in Spain, and this company would only sell them to a German company. Again, this guy was involved in it. So, and Franco for a while was like, well, hey, I might be able to get more for these. We've gone down to low popularity again. I might be able to get more for these rare materials from other nations. Can we change this agreement? And the Germans are sort of like, you could, but if you do that, we won't be sending you any more arms or munitions. If you want our arms and munitions, we won't even sell them to you. So yeah, you might be able to get more money from selling them to somebody else, but no, sell them cheaply to us, or you won't get any of our bullets or guns. Yeah. He decided to stick with the Germans and sell the stuff cheaply to the Germans. So yeah, that was sort of the deal that was going on. Okay, we have the SS Totenkopf Inspectorate, a holiday center for the SS. You can read more about it there. Die Front. Okay, this is Switzerland Nazi newspaper. The big stadium. It'll cost less. You know, the people were in there's Hitler, there's Speer, there's they were testing, since they didn't have computers for testing. They found a hillside and they put it to the right angle, and they built these scaffoldings and put a section. You know, they built it so at least it looked just like those were all going to be stone and concrete and whatnot, but just looked like, you know, looked all mocked up Hollywood style, looked like it. But they were testing to see if you sat way up here, could you see the action going down here. So they were testing out the lines of sight and just how far away it was. And this is Hitler out at the test site at some hills somewhere with Speer looking at this. And, you know, when Hitler was questioned about, well, can we afford to build this huge stadium? Well, it's going to cost less than 2 Bismarcks. You know, come on. What would we need 2 more Bismarcks for? Well, you have a choice. You want to gain 1 dissent, lose 1 in national unity, and lose another 3% in NSDAP popularity, or you can gain 2 in popularity. It cost a lot of supplies and some ICs for, let's see, well, what is that? About 25 days. So, yeah. Okay, 6% of our ICs will go. That's just for building the mock-up. You never actually get the stadium because it was never finished, but starting to build it. Okay, gain some money from tourists, some international exchange. So yeah, again, TRE doesn't try to make Germany any easier. I don't know whether it does or not in actual fact, but there are a lot of costs to things. Maneuvers, big major fall maneuvers, Switzerland, Saalschutz, their SS kind of thing for their party. The NSDAP Ausland Organization, the National Socialist Deutsches, for Calcutta in India. Yes, they actually had it there. We can expand these overseas ones or not. We're going to expand them to spend a little bit of money. And Ford Werkszeitung, so it's a Ford Motor Company's magazine. It was, I don't know, monthly or something, monthly or weekly, or I don't know, but they had their own magazine. But that'll help us with our automotive construction industry gain. See a little bit more inside of it, because Ford was a major manufacturer in Germany for automobiles. And throughout the whole war, the Ford manufacturing continued to manufacture mostly trucks, I think, for Germany. But it's sort of, I mean, it's taken over by the government. Any Americans, even before America comes in the war, are basically sent home or whatever, continue to be run. And they don't nationalize it as in like take it over to be Nazi party or government controlled. I mean, they're controlling it, but it's still owned by Ford Motor Company. And they keep paying into the bank Reichsmarks that end up being worthless, of course. But paying into the bank, into bank accounts inside of Germany for Ford. Like I say, it becomes worthless. They don't end up with any extra money after the war or anything like that. They still own whatever property, you know, the factory. They bomb it at some point, the Allies do. Don't know if it was the British or the Americans or both, but they bombed the factory at some point. It's not destroyed, but it's damaged significantly, if I remember correctly. And yeah, Ford takes it over after the war is over again, but it's not like they were, got a lot of profit out of it, because Reichsmarks become worthless. So, they don't really get anything out of it after the war. Okay, so we get a bunch of industry here. From the Party Congress. It's a standard black ice. And see here, we were talking earlier about the essay. So this is just one of the events. I found a poster for it. NS Kampfspiel, National Socialist Fight Games, as I had that. That's what they sort of translated that as into English. In the area of essay Gruppe West Stuttgart in 1937, these competitions encouraged training within the SA. So these are going on all the time, all over, well, these right times of year, not necessarily like in the middle of winter, but the right times of year. This is just one of them that I found a poster for. I don't know that this, don't think so, this, guys running was from that event, but it just, sort of typical. So we get a little bit more unit training, command and control, gain a little bit of manpower, just one, lose a little bit of supplies, and a little bit more political indoctrination with your training. So yeah. So like I was earlier talking about the roles of the SA and what it was doing and continuing to be in my opinion, a major pillar. Okay, we've now gotten back to medium, though we'll probably lose it soon, just because this sort of screwy thing. Some of this, and though, because we do have a couple of we're mostly Nazis. We only have, supposedly he's a fascist, though I wouldn't necessarily call him a fascist. I would call him a paternal autocrat. And though I might agree that he's a paternal autocrat, I wouldn't call Werner von Blomberg a Nazi either. I would go paternal autocrat. But so the more divided your government is to different colors of thoughts, the more likely you're going to get a fractured government. But having mostly brown here, only two not, that's pretty unified as cabinet posts. Okay, mountain HQs advance, very nice. So we want to come here, stop that for now. Okay, we're building up spies, good. We're going to keep building up a bit more, I think. Okay, let's see, so here, let's do armor casting capabilities. Not sure if that's needed, but whatever, we'll do it. Continue to put more into there, and we have study for level 1 mountain HQs, yay. Yep, take this, lose a little manpower, but gain some cool HQs down here. Some supplies to America should go in. Okay, again, like we were talking about, medical guide for military training. That's what supposedly that says there. Here, just Google Translate it or whatever. The book's contents are introduction and purpose, significance, and the results of military medical examinations, the life of the military man, general body care, pedicure for particularly important requirements, nutrition, all this stuff. So this is a book, and here's some stuff inside of it. It has a guy on the cover throwing a grenade. So these are the kinds of things that the SA are doing, working on training various elements that will end up in the army. I don't like these events because they're just random and not historically based. Look at our production. You never want to have your production tab open while the clock is running because it could crash the game. We don't know why. It just happens sometimes. Whenever it crashes, we don't know what's causing it. No way we can really test to try to fix it. I say we as in the modders, because we know it's a thing, but we don't know what causes it. All right. Keep getting through the upgrades, getting more and more into the Panzer Division here. Okay, CAG, not Crag, CAG. Ground crew training. Let's move this over to twin engine pilot training. And divisional command structure. And we'll let that continue. It's only 1933, so. Let's look. Are the US not sending us? Okay, no, we seem to be. Selling supplies like I keep doing. Let's look over here at the Soviets. Okay, it looks like they could, maybe we could send them some. Let's just do that much. Okay, we have some divisions we can start putting on, but we'll wait just a little bit. Yeah, unfinished event. I gotta finish this. No text in there. Let's have the pictures. Basically, this goes through, and then we can support an Arab uprising, because there was a lot of stuff going on already, because this is historically 3 Jews, 2 Arabs dead, 1 Jew, and 3 Arabs wounded, and dead and wounded in 24 hours there. So there's ongoing violence and fighting and whatnot. We can decide to send in money and supplies, basically, because I sort of kind of think this magazine article that, and then the Berliner Zeitung, Berliner magazine, sort of represents a something of a covert mission, in that, yeah, everybody knew the guy was there traveling around, but trying to pretend to be a reporter, or he was reporting the stuff, but I think he was really trying to make contact with these different groups and try to understand what's going on. So that's my evaluation of what I've read and think. So we can send in some supplies, basically sending some guns and munitions, and they will get local revolt risk improve or around that area. Or not. Well, we're going to do that. So I don't know if there will actually be a revolt breakout, a partisan unit here, but it'll increase some of the revolt risk in that area. Hey, Road Manor, how you doing? How's your day been? We've been expanding our factories a lot, so it's been using up a lot more of our rare materials here. See if we can sell some more supplies to America. They got money, yeah. And it's accepted. And core structure, I know we still want to continue there. Okay, let's do Flak Regiment Goring. Keep Goring happy. Okay, 2% ICs until the 16th of March. 38? That seems a long time, but I don't know. 5 ICs in. But we have a parachute unit that can't parachute, at least not while it has the flat guns attached, but okay. Let's see, where can we attach this to a Doesn't he have one? Isn't there one in Berlin? No, there's the overall HQ there next to it, but well, okay. That's just up there. When do you think California state government collapses in the sense of needing federal bailouts? I really don't know. I know for a while there, before the pandemic, actually the tax collection, my understanding, was more than their outcome for the immediate stuff. So they were actually running a bit of a surplus, I think. I don't know. Um, because in a way they're already getting lots of bailouts. That infrastructure bill that's going through, I don't think Biden signed it yet, or maybe he has, but been going through, or I think it still needs to get through the Senate. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the infrastructure bill. That's going to dump a lot of money into California. That is a partial bailout because, and I don't even. I'm just. This is just some things I heard long time. I mean, within the last year, but not recently. And maybe they didn't stay in the bill. But some of the infrastructure is just going to pay for things that the state government won't have to. Because if you look at it, it's an infrastructure bill. But if you add in one more word, and they've even added this word at times. I know this is modern politics here, but this is my YouTube channel. They say social infrastructure at times. And so they this is a social bill as much as anything else. When people hear infrastructure, they think things like roads, bridges, and maybe the internet, or telecommunications or something like that. No, this is as much a social infrastructure bill, social welfare programs, and other things. They could just be dumping in enough money that will allow California to spend its budget in other ways. So I don't really know how much of that is going to help out the state government situation here. But they've already lost Tesla, to my understanding. There's still, I think, a Tesla factory here, but they're moving the headquarters to Texas. And I think Elon Musk is planning on shutting down eventually shutting down all operations in California. First you move the headquarters, so their location is not in California, so they don't get to tax that. But they still get to receive payroll taxes and other stuff. But as the jobs leave California, the people that were paying income tax for working in the Tesla factory, which I understand, unlike Amazon, is actually well-paying jobs. I could be wrong. I don't know, but in detail. But so yeah, they're losing Tesla. It's not all, like I say, it's not all gone just yet, but they're going to lose that, and they're losing other things. So I don't know. It's spiraling. But I think it's. I think I was going to say I think the Democrats are going to bail them out. Well, the Democrats are going to lose both the House and the Senate, in my opinion, next elections next year. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good clear answer for you, but it's not going well. And I don't think they're spending any money on that stupid railway plan, high-speed railway from LA to San Francisco. So I don't think they're actually doing that crap. So yeah, don't know if that helps or answers your question. Okay, heavy armor design. So we can now construct heavy armor. That will make Arno happy. Looking for 37 technologies that I should be doing now while it's efficient, before really digging into much of these 1938. We'll do SQL. The 4-year plan magazine, just talking about that, increases our NSDAP organization and popularity. Yay, we need that. I thought we were going to have a change in governor here in California, but with this mail-in voting, for now, so long as there's mail-in voting, the Democrats will control California. I'm not saying that's forever, but for now, so long as they can keep doing, and mail-in voting, everyone, is different than absentee voting. Before the mail-in voting, you had to say, and you didn't have to prove it, and sometimes, you had to proactively go in and say, or write in and say, I am going to be out of town on the election day. I would like an absentee ballot, please. Or it could be, I just can't get to the voting booth, like if you were bedridden or something like that. But you didn't have to prove anything. It's not like you had to have an ID. You didn't have to go. You just had to write in and say, I want an absentee ballot. And they would mail you one because you couldn't show up. And then you get to mail that back. That's fine. I'm all for that. But just sending everybody a ballot who's a registered voter, including people that are not citizens that are registered voters, because you get a driver's license in California, they register you to vote. And they don't ask, well, they sort of maybe ask if you're a citizen, but you don't have to prove it. You just have to say you are. So long as they're doing that, the Democrats will run California. Until that changes somehow. Because after all the rich people, or most of the rich people, and the middle class people leave California, the poor people will want their government benefits, so they will just vote for the Democrats. So the state is just spiraling out. Hello, Yoshihisa Shimazu. How you doing? Okay, CAS pilot training advanced, close air support. Yay, we like close air support. Okay, that's a 38. Let's see. I don't know that let's do ground attack tactics. That's cool. And land power. Okay, we now have enough units on the map, ground units, to count as land power. So organization regain rate is up 2.5%, and land organization is also up 2.5%. Which is nice. Okay. Karl Frank, that guy is stirring up trouble in Czechoslovakia. At Germany's request, we would give them, no, we're going to steal yours after we invade and conquer you. Your resources that you stockpile. As you may notice, I want to trade, particularly with nations that I will get some benefit out of trading with them. Things like trying to get us, or Hungary and Romania, to be more friendly with me, Finland to be more friendly, Sweden to be more friendly. I want to trade with them. And buy resources. That's different than selling supplies. Selling supplies or selling, steel or something cool. But buying that, because nations that I'm planning on invading, like Belgium, like the Netherlands, they are stockpiling all extra, like rare materials or oil or whatever they might, or just coal and steel. They're stockpiling them in their capitals from their colonies or other places, and same as France and these other things. So nations that I'm going to invade, I don't want to buy materials from them, because I will get a big chunk of them Like when I take over Czechoslovakia, I'm going to take a big chunk of it. So there's no point in buying now when I can take later, and I can buy from nations that I don't plan on invading, and particularly look for nations, yes, good, that will really help us, nations that it's good to get stuff from, yes. No, we don't want to. See, I don't plan on invading them, I don't think, but they're not going to become friendly with me. They're programmed not to. They will keep trying to be in the middle ground. I don't want to get from you because you're not going to buy anything from me. Oh, and also I try to, if it's not a diplomatic reason, like Austria, or not, well, Austria, yeah, but Hungary and Romania, it's like with the Soviet Union, is that the Soviet Union will buy supplies from me. So I want to give them money for rare materials to then, to be able to, I sell them supplies, which they give me money for, and then I take that money and I give that money back to them for their rare materials. So it creates a loop. So you want to do that, and then you want to, buy from nations that will get you closer to you. That you want to have close to you. Artillery unit combined arms. Just, at least that's my philosophy here. Okay, artillery unit combined arms. Yeah, we can do military police now. Well, and yeah, I know it'll put us in the negative, but we'll do that too. But we fully got that into production. And if Arno's still with us here, I'm going to please Arno. I'm going to start producing one heavy armor unit. Currently they're calling it the Nordfahrzeug, but whatever. Make Arno happy. That's 19 ICs. We'll attach that to some division somewhere. That'll be our main breakthrough division for going into Western Europe, and we'll also have it ready for the Eastern Front. Now we've lost our little bit of income from Austria. Well, I think we're going to end this episode here. I want to thank you so much if you've made it this far. I know only about 10% of you do, but it's a real pleasure that you get here and that you've enjoyed. Hopefully, if you made it this far, you've enjoyed hanging out and listening. So thank you so much. Of course, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button if you like this kind of content. And of course, if you like this kind of content and you're already a subscriber, hit that thumbs up so I know that you like it, how many people hit that thumbs up, as well as the YouTube algorithm likes it. So it will do that, promote that. So I want to thank you all so much. And of course, I want to thank Toyjet, Timothy, and Nils for your support over on Patreon, but everyone else just hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much, everyone.